Reed, what up, buddy? You want to work your team? I'll let you. Shout out to the Lost Boys. Y'all stay intact, all right? Peace right here in the building.
REED-BBS, BBS. As predicted, as expected, my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, Naoya Inoue, he becomes an undisputed champion in a second weight class. This time, junior featherweight, also known as super bantamweight, adding to his light flyweight title, his super flyweight title, his undisputed title at bantamweight. Naoya Inoue is now the undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world. My man is absolute must-see TV. Yes, even during the early AM hours of a Tuesday morning. Yes, sir, you got to see him. And as such, thank you to those who tuned in to the Inoue Marlon Tapales live stream narrated by REED-BBS. Appreciate the turnout. That was the live stream of 2023, but I will definitely keep you updated and posted before ahead of time on any coming in 2024. We'll do more of those next year, I promise. But Tapales, man, yeah, 2-division champion, unified super bantam champ coming in. He acquitted himself quite well. I dig the atmosphere. I'm a fan of atmosphere. And there was a billowy smoke, Japanese flag styled intro for Inoue. Now see, that shit was regal. That shit was regal. We got people like Deontay Wilder fancying himself a king and shit. Naoya Inoue is a king. There's something understated about being a king. It's not forced. It just is. Naoya Inoue is. Getting to the fight, there's not much figuring out from Inoue. He usually starts pretty briskly. Likes to land something hard-ish early to introduce himself. It was a give and take first round and give and take fight. Tapales, he wasn't caught up or overwhelmed by the occasion at all. And both men spent the vast majority of the proceedings fighting at close quarters. But with that, against a strong, fast, powerful, explosive little dude like Inoue, it took its toll. Tapales, he was using the high guard, but the shots to the arms was even painful. Like even when you block Inoue's punches, they still hurt. They waged, along with the physicality, of course, they waged a mental battle of constant foot placement because Tapales is a southpaw, Inoue is orthodox. Foot placement, feigning for positioning and openings, but the competitively arrogant, the flat-out brash Naoya Inoue he accommodated. In the fourth round, after some lively phone booth exchanges, a left hook hurt Tapales. Follow-up flurry dropped him near the ropes. Got to a point Tapales was eating shots, clapping his gloves together, inviting more, but all the while landing sneaky southpaw hooks and body shots that Inoue for sure did not appreciate. In fact, Tapales attacked Inoue's body in a way that I have not seen. The two men stood center ring, chopping away in the fifth. Inoue just had the heavier artillery. But it was a brave effort from Tapales, make no mistake about that. In fact, he was as tough a fight for Inoue as the first Nonito Donaire fight was. Tapales was as tough as that first fight with Donaire. Of course, Inoue beat the brakes off Donaire in the rematch. But that first one, now, Tapales was more, again, of a mental chore. There was no cuts for Inoue in this one, no fractured orbitals like there was against Donaire. But he made Inoue's mind work at a more rapid pace, made him have to think and calculate more than he's accustomed to. Usually, Inoue hits you with a couple hard shots. Dudes go into a shell and shit. They start to accept their fate, and it is what it is. Well, that wasn't what it was going to be with Tapales. Tapales made him work, and it was definitely a tough out. In the 10th round, Inoue landed a 1-2, broke through Tapales' guard, and as stubborn as Tapales was, he had enough. He was counted out and relinquished his unified super bantamweight titles reluctantly, but it was what it was. What's next for Inoue? He's going to take some time off, kick his feet up, and apparently he's already signed to fight Luis Nery, who's a mandatory for one of the 4 belts that Inoue has in May. He's going to beat the living shit out of Luis Nery, who hasn't been quite the same since his steroid PED episodes. And, Brandon Figueroa beat him like he stole something. So, but he's kept himself in the mix. You got to give the man kudos for that. And this probably is a cash-out fight for Nery, but he's going to get his ass whooped in May. Make no mistake about that. The more attractive fight for Inoue to me, well, he says he plans to stay at 122 for 2024, for the year 2024. So MJ Akhmadaliev, former world champion at the weight. In fact, he lost a very close decision to Tapales. That's how Tapales won the unified titles. Akhmadaliev won an eliminator a month or so ago. So as soon as they get rid of the Nery mandatory, MJ Akhmadaliev should be in line next. That'll be a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. Best fight that can be made right now at 122. From there in 2025, I'm hoping my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, Naoya Inoue finally moves up to featherweight. Hopefully by then, Brandon Figueroa or Ray Vargas or Lee Wood or whoever else is there, they've gotten around to actually unifying the division. Not fully, you don't have to be an undisputed champion, but let's consolidate some of these belts. They're too splintered right now. Sweeten that pot as Inoue defends his pot at 122, and let's see what shakes at featherweight in 2025. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Televisión, Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.